So hello everyone, welcome back to another video of F1 2019 career mode. Today we're going to be doing episode number 2 for the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, the first F1 race of this series. Now, first of all, apologies for the slight delay. I think this was supposed to come yesterday afternoon, as that bloke loses his head. But of course the temperatures just didn't go down. Tomorrow and Monday are going to be better in terms of temperature weather, so there'll be some more uploads. I'll be able to get some more uploads done then. So there are definitely uploads coming on those 2 days, but today this will be the only upload because it is going to get very hot very quickly, which is why I'm recording this early on in the morning before it actually gets hot, and then scheduling it for later on in the day. So yes, without a doubt. We've got our season objectives. They're confident the car will be competitive from the start of the season. So expect you to be racing near the front of the field. Make sure to be hard working at car development. Good luck from Emma. Weather forecast is some Australian sunshine, and of course the usual weekend preview from Jeff. It would be nice to actually see Jeff in the flesh, but of course we haven't done it. The R&D will be touching at the end of the episode because I want to get a feel of where the car is, and also to touch on, really, I haven't touched on where Butler and Weber went. Butler managed to get a drive at Red Bull and Weber at Haas, and I believe that it's the same. They give you the same order depending on which team you join. So there will never be a random place that they go. They will always join the same team. So if you join Renault, they'll always join Red Bull on Haas. If you join Williams, they'll always join Toros and Alfa Romeo, etc., etc.
We're just about ready to kick off today's qualifying here in Melbourne. It's the Australian Grand Prix. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
So into qualifying we go, and I think, first lap, let's see how we go. We're slower than Kubica. Send help. Because moving into the end of qualifying, it is going horrendously. It's not just the fact that I'm slow. There's not that factor. If you saw my online video the other day, I was trying to do an eye thing, you would have seen that everybody was suffering from understeer, and it is a huge problem with this game. I'll show you some, and I'll also show you that the problem is with understeer at the end of the episode, because we got an invitational event to one of those classic cars. So yes, this was our fastest, the finish of our fastest lap, and you can see there that the usual culprits. Hamilton's on pole. Stroll down the bottom. Russell is still faster than him as we get overtaken by, I think, I'm having to run high front wings. But in the end, Ricciardo qualifies 11th and we're last, 2 seconds slower. Definitely the difficulty level needs to be lowered to be able to counteract this, unfortunately. It's unfortunate, but I'm afraid it's what even Weber and Butler are in the top 10. So there we go. We're going to lose points to our rivalry. We won't be able to set our other rival until later in the season, I believe round 4. There'll be another video coming tomorrow which should show you what happens when we become Devon Butler's teammates in F1. But unfortunately, there was a message waiting for us.
That was one of the worst qualifying performances I've ever seen. The only way is up from here, hopefully.
Nice Yaz reference there. Nobody will get that reference because that is from the 80s, I should say. So nobody will get that thing. But anyway, it's time for the race today's Australian Grand Prix.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year, with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds, and of course some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber, and hello once again to the classic name of Alfa Romeo in Formula One. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda power unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Butler, Sebastian Vettel and Verstappen, Stroll, Weber, Grosjean and Sergio Perez, Ricciardo, Albon, Daniel Kvyat and Raikkonen, Norris, Sainz, Antonio Giovinazzi.
Come on, Crofty. Get it right. Giovinazzi.
It's time to go down to the track.
Okay, let's aim to get 8th or better.
What? Did you not see qualifying, Jeff? We were slower than a Williams. You expected to get 8th place. Not even Ricciardo is going to get... well, I don't know about Ricciardo. He's most likely not going to get 8th place. Anyway, I was playing about with the race strategy, which I thought about going hard to softs, but yes, I'm still getting used to the tyre compounds. I haven't watched any races live this year, but unfortunately there I did actually select the 2-stop rather than 1-stop. Doesn't really matter, it's not going to make much difference anyway, because at this point tyre wear is going to be a little bit harsh, as you'll see, as lights out and away we go. And it's been, and once again, as it was in 2018, we're still getting atrocious starts down the inside, and we're going to corner cut there, go ahead of Russell, but we're still going to be behind Kubica, moving into turn 1. So let's see what happened here. We dive bombed down the inside. We couldn't get ahead of Giovinazzi though in that very nice Alfa Romeo car. Yes. Now moving down up to turn 3, we do eventually get ahead of Kubica, smoothing behind Giovinazzi and Norris, who are having a big battle for 16th, 17th. You'll see a lot of corner cutting until I actually get used to the car performance. It's just going to how it has to be. Bully Norris out the way and up into P17. That means we're not longer. Next up, down turn 2, we do come up to Giovinazzi. However, we go a little bit too deep, A little bit of a tyre bang, my fault, apologies to Gio there, but we do eventually get ahead. Unfortunately, Norris goes ahead of him as well. So yes, here's a replay. We go a little bit too deep, but we do get him back. We do not enough to go out. We do tyre bang, and then sort of go around the outside, which unfortunately loses that thing. And then of course Norris wears an idiot and try to take us down the inside. That's not going to happen really. So virtual safety car is deployed. I don't know what he was. That as I said before back in 2018, the AI is sometimes too aggressive with their overtakes in some of these corners as he goes through Kubica. Moving to lap 3 now, we're coming up to the Toro Rossos down the side of Dani Kvyat. We will get DRS off Albon. Fortunately though, we lost the momentum to Albon, but it doesn't really matter because the following lap we did exactly the same on Albon and as we did to his teammate. Unfortunately, Albon turned in on us and he unfortunately lost bits of his front wing. Now, so yes, we are going on to this. Wear is also really high as well, something that I did not want, don't want to have to contend with. So yes, pit limiter on. Let's go for our stop. 2.4 seconds, not bad. I'm sure we'll get better. Weber has been in as well. He'll come out ahead of us. Norris is last.
One more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
Me and Perez are going side by side as we catch up to Alexander Albon, who's really suffering with that front wing damage down the inside and up into P15. Again, another corner cut, as I said earlier. Well, if this game wasn't so understeery, then I'll be able to actually drive the car fully. Now, we've actually caught up to our old teammate Lucas Weber, who is in the Haas this year in the car that, of course, it was announced earlier that Rich Energy are going to have to lose their upgrade and use their logo. Don't think there is actually the Rich Energy logo anyway, that the white stag on there. But yes, we do move up ahead of Lucas, and unfortunately for Lucas himself, Giovinazzi gets past him on some soft tyres, as opposed to Lucas and ourselves on mediums. I'm sure though that we will get here as we come into the pits for lap 18 for our second stop. Sort of losing time with the tyre wear. The tyre wear is really bad, especially on the front left again. And pretty much it's business as usual. One thing though that is going to happen is George Russell on his hard tyres is going to come out ahead of us, but then everybody else is going to come out ahead of Kubica, while Giovinazzi's going to come out. Weber got held up, I think, by Giovinazzi, which was unfortunate for him, as we close up now lap 20 on to George Russell, DRS in this third DRS zone down the inside. Not really a fight for the Williams considering the fact they're on the harder tyres and they're so slow. Now we have lost our first casualty of the race. This is Dani Kvyat. He in the Toro Rosso, he is out of the race. Some sort of mechanical failure or engine failure. And into lap 26, the same happened for Robert Kubica, because the Williams driver suffered a problem and then retired from the race with again mechanical engine failure. So yes, that was pretty much the race. Unfortunately, I couldn't catch up to Sainz or Stroll ahead, because every time I went through I was setting good times through the first two sectors, but in the final sector I was losing time with the understeer bit like this, but while not going on the grass, which we lose a bit of time to Weber, who's got back in something for Giovinazzi. Up to the line, no points today, P13.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
That trophy is so basic. Not one I want to win. So yes, Lewis Hamilton in first place, Leclerc in second, Vettel came from up to third place. He gets 1 point for fastest lap. Ferrari are fastest, but I think there needs to be a patch to resolve that. They're pacing the Williams one. Butler and Raikkonen also moving up from 7th, 14th to 7th. Kimi getting those points. Ricardo
Great
also
work out
moving
there
up.
today. Let's have your thoughts. There wasn't much between you and Lucas by the finish today.
Well, there was a bit of understeer, so if I hadn't gone on the grass at the final corner, I would have been battling. But we've both got a great car and a great team behind
You
us.
gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Did you not see, Claire? I loaded the AI for this race so that we could actually get past them. But yes, our power advantage really came in handy.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
That's because Lando Norris was an idiot.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Oh, I was struggling for grip, and also the fact that the car has got a lot of understeer with the new 2019 regulations that they've installed.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So yes, taking a look at the breakdown now. Rivalry. We can't add a second rival until episode 4, I think, of this. Sorry, episode 5 of this career mode. We are gaining a lot of R&D points, which we'll be going to spend in just a moment. But we lose a little bit. We're going with Williams, but lose a little bit more as we get a bit more to veteran.
Commiserations on that result. It's been a tough weekend. Looks like one of your rivals.
So yes, one thing that has been added to try and entice you to do the classic events for 2019, that you get to go to an invitational event and your rivals will be attending, and that's definitely there. Not sure, I did mention in one video of 2019 game news that there potentially could be some test drivers there. I don't think they might be there. There might just be Formula 2 drivers. I think that needs to be expanded upon. We might not see what we see there until the patch comes out with the F2 2019 cars. So overall, the car is very disappointed. We've also got interviews. Seems disappointed, but we can do better next time in Bahrain, hopefully. Interview transcripts now with Weber saying that being a good ex-teammate, good friend to us, as he is. So we're committed, and we both got good teams and behind us. I mean, Haas has done very well. It's just a shame that their sponsor's such a dickhead. And of course, the prick himself, Davin Butler, of course, saying that he never really considered Verstappen as a real threat, despite the fact Verstappen's got many years of experience over him. He still doesn't consider him as a real threat, and he still doesn't. I mean, for goodness sake, you're the number 2 driver at Red Bull. You're the Gasly to Verstappen. Hopefully he fails and doesn't do that. Now let's go and have a look at some R&D. There's a Ricardo. I haven't captured his smile. He's not smiling as much as he does in real life, but he has got 6 points for 3 in the rivalry. we will look to try and get some points back next time and actually score some championship points. Where we need to focus on a bit of wear, but I want to get the performance done well first. There's no point being, I'd rather have a car that potentially breaks down once in a while and we can actually drive than the car that will always get to the race finish but then is going around in 19th place all the time. So we're going to focus on Sashi and Aero, mainly Sashi to counteract the diabolical handling model for 2019, which personally is a step too far. If you haven't seen it already, I think I mentioned it earlier in the episode. It's been that long already, apologies. But yes, go and check out the online video I did the other day. Everyone was understeering. So yes, an aero upgrade. I'm also going to purchase a powertrain upgrade because we do need to update. The powertrain is the worst part of the car. It's just the fact that if this was F1 2018, I'd be focusing on that. As it's F1 2019 and we got this aero, we will be focusing on Sashi and trying to get better than Red Bull, and at least trying to reduce weight and also just make this car steer better, and that will also work through by playing the game as well and getting better setups. Also for this year we've also got durability. In 2017 the durability led itself to the engine, but I don't know if that's going to happen for 2019. None of the 4 areas were linked in 2018. So yes, 13th place. We'll have to build on that. So yes, let's go and check out this checkpoint challenge in Lewis Hamilton's championship winning 2008 McLaren. Oh, just listen to this engine. Much better. But you can see here that there's no understeer here because of course it's the classic cars and there was no understeer back in 2008. I haven't even loaded a setup as well. So yes, we did very well in this. The classic cars are to my liking, and there might be a video in the coming weeks comparing all the classic cars, seeing which is fastest. We managed 10 kilometers, which is not bad at all. And we actually beat Ricardo, just to show that we do actually have some pace. It's just we almost got out of a checkpoint there. 10 kilometers, and we beat the objective as well. .59 kilometers, we beat Ricardo as well, so reputation will be up for the next event. So yeah, so that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more episodes of F1 2019 Career Mode. Might be Monday, the next episode, or later tomorrow that comes out. Excuse me. Sorry, that's hay fever. A bit hay fever, a bit of a cold. So hopefully that will dissipate tomorrow. As I said earlier, it's going to be cooler Monday, tomorrow and Monday. It's going to be actually cooler than it is now, and it's only, when I'm recording this, it's only 9:30 in the morning. So that's just saying something how hot it has been this week. Hopefully, if you're in Europe, you're in the oven, mate. And to be honest, I don't envy you at all. It is far too hot in Europe, and climate change is a real problem. But I could go on for a rant for that, but I don't want to take up more of your time. So yes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new to see more episodes of F1 2019. I will be doing an episode tomorrow where we'll be seeing what happens if we become Devon Butler's teammate, and then also try to simulate through, as a part of an episode where we try and simulate through 10 seasons to see where all the driver transfers happen between Butler, Weber and all the other 20 drivers on the grid. But until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.